we're streaming games for October, scary games like Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Pumpkin King, which is so many characters long that it doesn't fit in Mixer's stream title thing, which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't never played this before. Oh shit! It's a giant Jack
Oh,
Skellington.
Giant Jack Skellington.
But yeah, I saw this movie was on TV today, so
This is one of those ones where people. Well,
people who
so
like
first
this
of all,
movie really fucking like this movie.
yeah, I think it's just okay, honestly.
Yeah, I like it. I think I like Coral, like as far as like kind of spooky stop motion animation movies go. I like Coraline a lot more,
Hmm.
but this movie's all right. But it definitely has like I have an aunt who is a huge fan of this, and she has like tons of merchandise and T-shirts and hoodies and stuff with
Hmm.
Jack Skellington all over it, and I don't quite get that level of love for it, but I think it's a pretty solid movie. One of the
Yeah,
better
I mean, I
Tim
like
Burton
Oingo Boingo,
things.
but
Yeah.
I have long since sort of been, I don't know that I'm part of a subculture, but I have certainly participated in and gone to places where there are members of a subculture who really, really, really like this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of diminished my love for this movie is that like I would go out to clubs and I would see people with Jack Skellington purses and Jack Skellington outfits and Jack Skellington, and it got to the point where I was just like, okay, like the movie's good, but it's not that good. Like visually it's impressive, but like I think some of the songs are like not that great. And I honestly think it kind of meanders a little bit. Like it's a little longer than that long of a
It's only
movie.
like an hour and a half long, and it feels like it's a
Yeah.
half an hour too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
But
but
hey,
it's fine.
you know,
Also, I also fall on the side of like we're playing it tonight, obviously, but when people are like, "Is it a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?" I'm like, "It's a Christmas movie."
it's
I
both. Why
fall in
can't
the
it be
Christmas
both?
movies. I mean, it can be both, but it just
Right. The art style is definitely Halloween, but it's about
mhm.
Christmas.
Sure. But it ends. The movie starts on Halloween and it ends on Christmas. So
Just
I
like
mean,
Die Hard.
you're right.
I don't know. You
Right.
know what?
Well, actually, Die Hard starts
There's
on
never a
Christmas
bad
and ends
time to
on
watch Die
Christmas, but
Hard, and
that's true. There's never a bad time.
right.
Die
And
Hard was released
this,
in theaters in August,
yeah.
so yeah. But who is responsible for this thing?
Uh, I don't know.
Not Tim Burton. It's Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas video game, but I don't think he's responsible for the video
Developer is
game.
Tosei.
That could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
That could very much go either way. Um, I mean, it looks pretty
Jack
good.
is very slippery.
It seems that way. I mean, he's
Cool
got those long
animation.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animations look cool. He has that. He has that blue iridescent outline that some early Game Boy Advance games had on their characters, so you could see what the hell was going on. Which is, I mean, that's a choice that kind of had to be made.
2005. This game is from.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. That's actually feels. Was
Yeah.
that when did the SP come out? Was the there's SP was out by then,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
know. I never had one of those, so I don't know.
Me neither. Me neither. But I was actually sort of reflecting on the
This was about 4 years. Like the original one came out in like '01 or '02, I think. So,
'01, summer of '01.
yeah.
Yeah. So the Castlevania
It's
cer-
difficult to import like the importance of games with characters that have high contrast on the horrible fucking Game Boy Advance screen just like tilts
yeah.
everything.
I stopped reading Penny Arcade a long time ago, but the comic where they drag like 300 lights into a room so they can play the GBA is one that I think will forever
Oh,
resonate.
man, I really like that grab on and climb over
Yeah,
animation. It's
that's a
really
nice
good.
animation. Yeah. But it's interesting because the aesthetics of Castlevania Circle of the Moon have actually aged pretty well, and it's because it was an absolute chore to play on that screen at the time because
I played
they
that
did
game last
not.
year. It's pretty ugly. Everything looks the same. It's a very boring looking Castlevania game.
Yeah, but like, okay, and what's the second one?
Aria.
Aria of Sorrow. No,
No,
sorry. Harmony of
Harmony of Dissonance is the second
Harmony
one.
of Dissonance. That one, everything is like day glow, and everything looks super washed out.
Yeah,
And your main character has like a throbbing, glowing border around him,
yeah.
and it looks like shit.
Yep. Both of those
Um,
games are pretty bad looking. Aria of Sorrow looks really nice though.
yeah. But I'm just saying that I think Circle of the Moon has aged better than Harmony,
Maybe.
just because it doesn't look washed out, and it doesn't have the.
That game just has endless boring hallways in it. It's I was really disappointed when I played. I think it was last year that I played that.
Yeah,
was it
last year,
or
the
2
year
years
before.
ago? I don't know. Everything is all blurring together at this point.
Yeah,
Check out this bug.
it's a weird looking bug. Why did the bug turn into fish bones?
I don't know. Because bugs don't have skeletons of their own.
Because that bug is really into party at Ground Zero.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I it's really. Well, we did a whole big long stream of Game Boy Advance games a couple years ago for Extra Life. I did like a 12-hour stream where I just played games for Game Boy Advance, and it's really playing them on a PC with a nice monitor and having them upscaled and stuff. Really, there's a lot of great looking Game Boy Advance games that really was almost impossible to appreciate at the time.
How good
bad the screen was.
Like Double Dragon Advance looks and plays really great, but on that screen, man.
Whoa, look at all those bugs.
You're supposed to climb up them, like after you freeze them like that, or something. Or I don't know.
These bugs are ruining our glorious Halloween town. Find out why. Pickups. Extras.
See, everybody apparently is into Fishbone in this town because we're picking it up and we're
Yep, we can jump on the bugs.
There you go. It's like Metroid.
Yep. It is kind of like Metroid.
In that there seem to be a lot of really annoyingly long shafts that you have to zigzag your way up.
It's very Castlevania Circle of the Moon also. Whoops.
So I'm doing some very heavy editing on the Resident Evil 2 videos we briefly talked about before.
I guess I can't grab the bugs to climb up though. I wonder if I get a double jump at some point.
Probably. This seems like that kind of game. But Resident Evil 2 is still a pretty good video game. Just want to throw that out there. And there was a GBA. I'll stream the GBA version at some, but it'll be part of a larger stream because the GBA version of Resident Evil 2 is just a tech demo. It's extremely
we definitely
short,
streamed that before.
Have we?
I definitely did.
I thought we had.
No, I definitely did.
But it's really interesting to see.
There's almost nothing to it. It's like 10 minutes.
Right. It's not even 10 minutes. It ends at so you can't get any further than the basketball court, and you don't even stop to talk to Kendo in the gun shop. So it's like 3 minutes. It's really short, but it's, as a proof of concept, it's really impressive. It is much more impressive, I think, than the
would have come on 10 cartridges.
Than the Game Boy Color version of 1,
which is also kind of a triumph of.
It is
really. I mean, it's not a good game, but it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's a technical achievement for sure. Well, the studio that did the GBA version of Resident Evil 2, or the pitch reel, the tech demo of GBA 2, Raylight Studios, they'd done a couple other games that actually were kind of in full 3D. So I think it might have been possible. They did. I'm just going to have to look it up. I think they did like one of the Driver games that was like a 3D GBA game.
When I did that, we remember. I think was it maybe last year we did the Alone in the Dark.
Yes, rather than Game Boy Color.
That was
right?
Game Boy Color, yeah. Just rough. GBA, like there are some good, like Tony Hawk on Game Boy Advance is like a really good Tony Hawk game. Doesn't have that much in common with the PlayStation Tony Hawks, but it's like those are really
Tony Hawk
good.
2. Yeah, it was like when the GBA. Well, the map in at least in Tony Hawk 2.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk. Let's see. Tony Hawk 2
Must be a Checkpoint. It's similar. It's just not.
Circle of the Moon and Fire Pro Wrestling were the 3 games that I got when the GBA came out. Smashing Drive was like a fully 3D Game Boy Advance port of it, and it's like a Crazy Taxi alike kind of. It is totally, it's kind of cool to pull that off. So I don't know, maybe Resident Evil would have been, what year was that? I didn't actually, I was just put on, when I do videos I just put unreleased, such but I feel like maybe it was just close enough to the DS launch that Capcom was like, it's not worth it.
Maybe, yeah. Spider Boss.
Oh wow, they also did a tech demo showing the first room in Metal Gear Solid using that same engine, the Blue Roses 3D engine is what they called it. And there's a tech demo of it. Doesn't look like it's playable at all. It's literally just like a camera moving around the room, but it's just like, here's the first room, like the dock that you swim into at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid, and like here it is on the GBA, which is pretty impressive.
No diagonal shooting. Also, I like that the jack like thrusts upward when you shoot up, so it's like a frog dick coughing green cum all over everything. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. How are you? Okay. How are you supposed to damage the big spider that's behind the web?
He comes down for a minute every once in a while.
He does. Okay. This is 2003. So when the DS was 2005. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that close. I don't know. I don't know. So according to the Resident Evil wiki, it says, by this point, Capcom had lost interest in the viability of Game Boy ports, but there's no citation on that, and I feel like Capcom was still releasing Game Boy Advance games after 2003.
Yeah, that one in particular might have been more money than they were willing to invest in GBA games, I guess. But
that sounds a lot.
I mean, people were still putting out crappy SpongeBob games and episodes of the TV show on GBA in 2010 or whatever.
Right. I mean, Mega Man 04 came out in 2005.
Right.
And I think they were still doing ports too, like Magical Quest. They ported, you would think. So, I think I buy the explanation of it was more money than they were willing to spend.
I thought he was going to shoot webs at me.
Yeah, Magical Quest 3 came out in 2005 on the GBA as well. So, I don't know. That's a port to the GBA.
Yeah.
That's after 2003. So I don't buy. Capcom didn't want to port things to the GBA anymore.
Right. Like I said, I have a feeling
this would cost a fortune.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. They may have not totally lost interest, but lost interest to the point of we're not going to spend millions of dollars to port this 8-year-old PlayStation game.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same company that ported Street Fighter Alpha to the Game Boy Color, but whatever, I guess.
I have a feeling that was considerably cheaper.
Yeah, probably. That's a good point, though.
I know that wasn't very expensive. I have a feeling it was not that expensive.
I mean, I actually don't. That's a pretty competent
Port.
port, honestly. All things considered. I mean, I played it when I
It's better
did
than
the
the
video
Mortal
on it last
Kombat
year. Yeah,
port
well,
for
that's a
Game
low
Boy.
bar. It's a pretty low bar.
Try and beat this spider.
So, I went to Jack White's record store last night
Okay,
to watch a couple of horror movies on VHS,
obviously.
as one does.
Was it on a CRT TV?
No, there was enough room in that. It's like it was in the space where they normally have like live shows, like
Okay.
bands play. So, um,
What was shown on VHS?
so first we watched "There's Nothing Out There."
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Um, it's um, it's a sort of proto Scream, like very pre Cabin in the Woods, but like it's like this sort of metatextual horror movie. A bunch of kids go to a cabin in the woods, and one of them is like extremely
Oh wow!
hip to the trope movies. And so, whoa, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but um, yeah, what so it's this metatextual, like every time someone does something, the one guy is like, you're gonna you're gonna go for a walk late at night. That's not asking to be murdered or anything. And everybody's like, just chill out, Mike, just relax, like this isn't a movie. And of course, like they go for a walk in the woods and then they get killed, and then and so it's like, and then there's actually a really fantastic point in the movie where he's like, the girl, one of the girls is like, Mike, you have to relax. This is we're dealing in reality. You're talking about movies. And he's like, that thing out there in the woods is not reality. And she's like, are you saying we're in a movie? And he just like pauses for a second and kind of looks at the camera, and he's like, I'm saying it's a distinct possibility. Okay. And there's actually a really fantastic moment where one of the guys is like, he gets attacked by the creature, and to escape, he jumps up and swings off the boom pole.
Okay.
And like the boom is in the shot, and you're like, oh, boom in the shot, and then it pans, it tilts up as he is escaping the creature, and he just grabs onto it and swings from it like Indiana Jones, and like swings out the window. And it's like, that is a fantastic gag that I kind of wish another movie would have taken advantage of at some point. So that one was actually surprised. Like, it's super low budget. It loses points because the creature looks like absolute garbage, and not even in like a charming and funny way. Like, it goes past charming and funny to just like that's like, it's really bad. But it's a lot more fun than you would kind of expect from something of that vintage. Really, it hits a lot of the notes that I had fun with it. The second movie was Killer Party, which is like, have you seen Night of the Demons?
I think so. Maybe, yeah.
So Night of the Demons is sort of like low rent Evil Dead, right? Like, these kids go to this abandoned house and have a party, and the main girl, who's like the goth girl, she gets possessed by a demon, and then everybody else starts slowly getting possessed by demons, and it's very Evil Dead. Well, Killer Party is like, it's like a low rent Night of the Demons. So like, we're twice removed from Evil Dead now, and it can't really seem to decide if it wants to be a teen sex comedy or a horror movie.
Cool.
Because the titular Killer Party does not actually commence until like 20 minutes from the end, maybe. And it also, like, one of the things that they could have done more with was like, the whole thing is like, it's this frat sorority party, like the sister Greek life organizations. They're throwing a party at the old frat house that hasn't been used in 20 years because someone died there during a party 20 years ago, during an incident that was a gag guillotine that was supposed to, went wrong or whatever. But it's an April Fool's party, and it's like their annual April Fool's, ball or whatever. And you would think they would use that to sort of take advantage of like just throw out a shitload of red herrings, right? Just like
Mm-hmm.
or have someone die and then have people not believe it because it's April Fools, and like they don't do any of that shit. And of course, like April Fools, there's kind of like there's one good April Fools horror movie, and it's the original April Fools Day, and the rest of them are all like not very good. But this one there's not very much violence. There's not really, even though it feels like a teen sex comedy, there's not even really enough of that stuff to keep your attention. Like it's a bad teen sex comedy and a bad horror movie wrapped into one, and then it sort of picks up at the very end. It looks like it wasn't a very expensive movie to make, generally speaking, but at the end when the girl gets possessed, so first of all, it's a costume party. So the girl who's possessed, who you like, it sort of tries to frame it as a whodunit, but it's hinted at that she's getting possessed because like her eyes change colors at different times and stuff, and you're like, it's obvious. It's obviously her, but they still have her walk around the party dressed in like an old school diving, like with the spherical helmet and everything, like
Who could
murdering
this possibly
people.
be?
Yeah, but it's fantastic that they went with the ridiculous old school diver outfit, which is pretty good. And then she like starts using her possessed psychic powers to like collapse the house. Like they collapse a staircase at the end, and like that probably seems like it's where a lot of the money to make this movie was into like collapsing a whole staircase. Well, someone is someone is on it. But yeah, I don't know. We were gonna watch Spookies, but the tape was like too fucked up.
Oh, man. That's real to the experience of watching movies on VHS, at least.
Right. Well, as the guy said, the problem is that the projector was digital. So if it was analog, like it would have been like kind of a shitty picture. But because it was a digital projector, like the whole picture was rolling. Yeah. And it just wouldn't cooperate. Which is, I mean, at first I was like, cool, we don't have to watch Spookies, because Spookies is two separate movies that were stitched together for some reason. And it has some really good effects shots in it and effects work in it in one of those movies, but like it's an incoherent movie. And so I was like, yeah, it'll be good to see, something that not only that I've never seen, but I'm like not even really fully aware of. Because the way we decided was the guy who was sort of the programmer, for lack of a better term, he grabbed a bunch of tapes from his collection, and then he like surveyed the audience, and like we all cheered for the movie.
Did he say, "Hey, yo, do you want to take a survey"?
He did not, unfortunately. Missed opportunity. But like there was one called Cannibal Campout, I think was the name of one, and then
much better time.
There was one that was like a Native American, the burial ground, and there was like zombie Navajo warriors or something was what he read in the description, and I don't remember what that one was called, but that one was also
Is that
passed
one that
over.
came out recently? Wasn't there one something like that came out recently? Oh no, I think that was zombies.
That was zombie.
What the hell was that? Oh, you were just talking about that.
Yeah, Blood Quantum.
That's right.
Yeah. But that is not the movie that we were presented with last night. But yeah, it was a good time. I got a tote bag with Alf on it that says "Abolish Ice."
Okay, great. Which
is pretty good. I saw that. I sent Megan a picture of it. I was like, kind of thinking about buying this tote, and she's like, "You should definitely buy that tote." And I'm like, "All right, I will buy this tote." The guy who was selling those totes also had trucker hats with the Chopping Mall logo and the Vestron Video logo, like next to the Chopping Mall logo. He also had totes with the Chopping Mall logo on it, which is pretty clever, in its own way. But I decided to go with the Abolish Ice tote with Alf on it. So, and I got some stickers. Someone was selling stickers of like show posters, like downsized quite a bit, but so I got like a Refused sticker and an Iggy Pop sticker that are like vintage show posters, but they're like smaller stickers.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good time. And it was only $10 to get in, and they were like very generous. It was like, I don't know if there was a sponsorship or what the deal was, but it was like the bar was open. It was open bar for $10 to get in and do this thing. Obviously, I don't drink alcohol, so I just had a couple of Cokes, but they also had a popcorn popper, and they were giving out boxes of popcorn, so I ate a bunch of popcorn while I watched these movies.
What the fuck?
Oh, speaking of 3D games on the Game Boy.
Do I have a? I can't shoot or anything. It doesn't
So
seem
can
like.
you jump, or can you go up or down? Is it Space Harrier?
Nope. All I can do is go
This
back
is
and
the
forth.
this is the Disney version of Cotton, Panorama Cotton. Speaking of which, I did get Rainbow Cotton on my Dreamcast now. I don't know if I'm gonna. There's not that many days in October left, but
Yeah, October's almost over with.
yeah, I'm planning to do a pretty. I want to spend some quality time with Illbleed before the month is out, though.
Oh, damn it.
One of these nights we'll play some Illbleed for a while.
Yeah, oh man, I gotta go all the way back here. I don't know what those electric chairs do. Maybe they just refill my health.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
I thought it
guess
was
they're
like
not
a
checkpoints.
checkpoint or something,
Yeah, right. But apparently not.
They could go all the way through it. Maybe I'm done with this for tonight. This is probably better than it has any right to be, but the lack of a map is kind of a problem.
It's probably better than Oogie's Revenge on the PS2. I'm guessing.
Unless there was a map that I missed somewhere, but it doesn't seem like it.
I don't know.
Oh no, there's a map. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there's a map. Hey,
That's
found a
better.
map.
That's better. That's better.
So this is a Metroid. It's a small Metroidvania. It looks like.
Wow,
but...
this is just the house.
Oh, is this just the house?
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't appear that there's any way to like scroll through to look at the other areas, but
Gotcha.
all right, there's a map. I don't know. It's a little circle of the moon ish, and it's sort of just like endlessly recycling the same hallways over and over and over again. Although I guess that some of these rooms do at least kind of like stack back up on themselves in a way that's not just like going up and down endlessly or whatever.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. It really looks nice. I'll be honest. I like. I have a lot of GBA games. Great animation on Jack. Like I said, I really love the way that he grabs onto ledges.
Flips up the ledges. Yeah.
It's really cool. And the duck animation is also very good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Not bad. Frog Gun, Come Blast. Good also. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, we'll probably be back tomorrow with something else, maybe.
Yeah, we should be back tomorrow with something else, I think.
But yeah, we only got, 4 or 5 days left here?
Tonight's the 27th, so
we'll hit every day
4 more days.
And
I think we missed 2, but I've posted 2 videos that were pre-produced, so that's still 31. We still have had 31 things.
Unfortunately, some of the mixer has not been archiving my last few streams for some reason, which is a bummer, because I thought that Splatterhouse, when we were talking about all the Paste 25 or whatever, 100 best games of the decade, I thought that was a pretty good conversation, but oh well, I guess I'll have to start.
We'll have to do it again
I'll
sometime.
have to remember to start just recording them locally. But anyways, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go back and play some more Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I gotta finish this same name, different game episode.
But yeah, good night.